From a legendary chest that gave you a common card, to the king being bald, here are 22 Clash Royale things you won't be able to unsee. Did you know that iconic card designs once looked entirely different? In 2016, Clash Royale changed the designs of all these cards, but once you see the previous designs, you won't be able to unsee the new ones. Supercell went ahead and did the same thing with cards like Mini Pekka, Valkyrie, and Giant Skeleton. RIP OG Clash. There's a secret in the Ultimate Champions leaderboard that barely anyone knows about. At the very top, if you force scroll, you'll see a lonely green colored guy just flying up there. He is quite charming because once you see him, you won't be able to stop yourself from saying hi to him again and again. Did you know that Pekka is not a word but actually an acronym? And you'll be surprised to know what it means. On August 22, 2012, Supercell held a Facebook competition to let the fans decide what Pekka could stand for. And the winner was Perfectly Enraged Night Killer of Assassins, which completely changed the way everyone saw Pekka. So if you want to sound like a Clash nerd for some reason, make sure you use his full name. Did you know simply changing Clash Royale's language could unlock hidden details you won't find in English? If you change the language to any Asian language, the game provides you with additional information that isn't available in the normal version. Under the creator's code, you will find extra phrases. For example, if you change it to Japanese, it will show you how many of your gems were free and bought. A tiny detail that nobody should forget because it might come handy if you're multilingual. Did you know that the trophy road has an Easter egg that you might have completely overlooked? The trophy road in the game is consistent throughout if you scroll along the path with a reward bubble and an item on the other block. But in Pekka's playhouse, the last block is empty. There is nothing there until you zoom in on the other block, and under the reward bubble are the hidden trophies. Not sure if this was an Easter egg or just Clash Royale trolling us. Did you know Clash Royale has nearly 600 banners and many hide crazy pop culture references? For example, the Monk banner slips in the "It's Morbin Time Me from Morbius" to an anime reference for Giant Skeleton. They even used a kids movie like Snow White for the mirror image. And even Daft Punk lyrics made the cut. While some references were fun little inside jokes, others feel painfully forced. Supercell is trying way too hard to be funny. But banners and their descriptions aren't the only things in Clash Royale that have references. The hundreds of emotes in Clash Royale also have references to popular memes or culture. The burning goblin is a reference to this famous dog burning meme. Then we have the dancing skeleton having a dance battle with the OG meme. There's also a Grinch inspired emote, and even this one tied to a widely known meme. Now we know how the game stays super popular. It keeps everyone happy by using memes that you can't unsee and escape from even while playing. Everyone in Clash Royale is secretly bald, or at least most of them. The first is the Rascal's Boy, who according to the Clash Royale animations is revealed to be actually bald. Then we have the Miner, and surprisingly he is bald too. The next reveal is quite shocking, but the king is bald too. Now that's an image burned into our brains forever. But you won't believe the evolution Furnace went through, and no, I'm not talking about its ability. On August 2nd, 2025, the Furnace went through crazy changes that left players divided. The players compared the gaming abilities between the old and the new Furnace. But the interesting part of this transformation was wondering if it was necessary to give it large human feet. Yeah, that's gonna haunt me forever. Did you know the Clash Royale King might be forcing Clash of Clans troops to fight for him? There's an unbelievable explanation for the fact that the King's troops are from Clash of Clans, and in the commercial, we see that the King asks the troops to join him. But it turns dark when the ad shows that the King might have taken them forcefully. So is the King really a noble leader or just a dictator in a blue robe? Speaking of Clash of Clans, you probably never realized just how far the similarities go between the Clash universe. The Goblin Hut from Clash Royale will seem quite familiar to those who play both games, and if you compare the hut from Clash of Clans side by side, you can clearly see the resemblance. This case is similar with furnaces in both games as they're extremely similar. If you found any other similarities between the games, let me know in the comments. Imagine playing a game and your opponent sends an emote that makes you want to just quit the game. Back in the day, Supercell introduced a limited edition emote for the Golden Knight called the Golden Ratio emote, and whatever they were trying to do with this, they clearly failed. They tried to follow an already cringy trend and just made it worse. Even washing your eyeballs with soap would not be enough to make this image leave your mind. This player shared something so absurd that we can't even tell what happened. During their fight, the player's Mega Knight just flew in the air mid-attack, leaving everyone stunned for a moment, and still got a cartoonish defeat. Honestly, who knew Clash Royale could turn into a horror game? Imagine creating a Clash Royale world record and it's for all the wrong reasons. If there's one thing all gamers hate the most most in the world is to play a game that lags. However, this guy here has a replay that holds the world record for having the laggiest replay in the history of the game. Your phone might have crashed, but hey, at least you hold a world record, right? Imagine building up a character like an unbeatable beast, only for it to disappoint everyone. In the trailer for the game, Supercell showed Ice Wizard as this unbeatable ice-killing machine. Unfortunately, the game version of Ice Wizard can be simply defeated by one hit from Fireball. Talk about imagination versus reality. It makes us wish we could unsee the trailer. Ever noticed how the Electro Dragon looks harmless until you see what it really does? When paired with Tornado, its chain lightning doesn't just zap troops, it stretches unnaturally, bouncing across the arena to reset infernos and even hitting the enemy tower itself. Once you've seen the Electro Dragon spark halfway across the map like a broken extension cord, you'll never think of it as weak again. The log actually talks! I bet no one knows this, and after finding out, you can't unsee this about the log. Everyone knows that the troops say something when they are deployed. Magic! Even if it's sometimes hard to decipher what they're saying. But no one listens to the battle cry of the log. It can actually speak, you just have to listen carefully. Once you hear it, you can't unhear it ever again. The miner is untouchable when he is underground, but many new players don't know that it wasn't always like this. Back in 2016, the log could actually connect with him while tunneling, stunning him for half a second. It didn't deal damage, but it was enough to throw off your push or ruin your timing. That bug was patched years ago, but now you'll never look at the quote-unquote invincible miner the same way again. What if the funniest Clash Royale match you'll ever see wasn't even between real players? Some fans believe bots secretly exist in Clash Royale because every now and then opponents act way too clueless to be human. In this rare clip, two supposed bots went head to head, and the gameplay was hilariously bad. It was like watching AI forget how the game works. Whether bots or noobs, this clash is burned into memory forever. But if you thought you knew everything about Clash Royale lore, then you might be surprised when you hear this. The knight's description states that he is the handsome, cultured, distant cousin of the barbarian. But it doesn't stop there. Early on, they even wore matching team-colored shoulder pads before Supercell removed that detail. Now every time you see the knight and barbarian together, you'll be stuck picturing a family reunion gone terribly wrong. But if you thought that was cool, here's a detail you probably didn't notice. Mini Pekka, the shorter and faster version of Pekka, actually sounded very different in the early versions of the game. Some fans still prefer that deep robotic tone, and the reason it was changed remains a mystery. Now every time Mini Pekka shouts, you'll never stop wondering what it used to be. This is the weirdest Clash Royale collab ever. On May 2025, the Clash Royale official channel released a teaser about an animated show. The series is in pre-production and set to release on Netflix. Clash Royale on Netflix feels like putting chocolate on French fries, a crossover nobody asked for and now your brain refuses to forget it. And there you have it, 22 Clash Royale things you can't unsee. Like and subscribe and watch the video on screen now!